ABC News, World News Sunday. Here's Forrest Sawyer.
Good evening. The growing U.S. concern about the Soviet Union's instability has taken Secretary of State Baker there today. Baker arrived in what he called the former Soviet Union, carrying proposals for dealing with the United States' biggest worry, the thousands of nuclear weapons stockpiled in 4 republics. His political mission, sorting through the conflicting claims to power, requires much more diplomacy. National Security Correspondent John McWethy is in Moscow.
With the Moscow winter that everyone has feared now fully embracing this place, Secretary Baker arrived on a delicate mission of trying to help and to influence while staying out of the brutal infighting as the old empire collapses. Baker's plane and 2 other transports that are following carry $6 million worth of medical supplies pulled together by private charitable groups in the U.S. Unlike past visits, Baker's first meeting was with the Russian foreign minister, not his old friend Eduard Shevardnadze, the Soviet foreign minister. The Russian Republic wants the U.S. to give it, Ukraine, and Belarus full diplomatic recognition now.
This will help to crystallize authority which stems from the people's vote in Ukraine and Russia and Belarus, and stop the disintegration, further disintegration in this part of the world.
Baker made it clear that the U.S., for the moment, was not going to give full diplomatic recognition to anyone, because that could tip the balance in the internal power struggle.
President Bush has made it clear in the United States that it is not up to the United States to involve ourselves in these political issues and to try and take any part or play any role in them.
Perhaps the most important part of Baker's mission will be to win new commitments by the republics to control and then destroy their nuclear weapons. The president of Ukraine, Leonid Kravchuk, who Baker will meet later this week, seemed to be answering Baker's worry tonight on Soviet TV.
Let me make clear that the control of these weapons means control over their non-use, not over the use of these weapons. Control over the destruction of the weapons, not their production.
The concern that Baker has is that everyone is now talking a good game, but not one weapon has yet been destroyed. In fact, many of the new Republic leaders have no idea how many nuclear weapons are really on their soil. Baker will be offering some new approaches to get the destruction of those weapons underway. John McWethy, ABC News, Moscow.
Making sure those nuclear weapons remain secure and out of the wrong hands could prove to be an enormous task. The danger is not only the weapons themselves, but the technology that created them. ABC's Pentagon correspondent Bob Zelnick has more.
With 27,000 nuclear weapons on their soil, the Soviet Union could potentially divide itself into several of the world's largest nuclear states. One key Baker mission will be maintaining central control over these systems. On This Week with David Brinkley, Baker's deputy Lawrence Eagleburger described other missions.
We have to move as fast as we can to help them destroy as much in the way of their nuclear stockpile as we can. And we need to do what we can to make sure that what's left isn't sold on the open market.
Experts say the Soviets' long-range nuclear arsenal should be reasonably manageable. All these missiles are located in 4 republics, Russia, Belarus, Kazakhstan, and the Ukraine, or aboard submarines, and all require a computer command from central Moscow authority to launch. And in terms of making weapons, sources say all plutonium production, uranium enrichment, and nuclear weapons assembly plants are located within the Russian Republic. The bigger problem is with shorter-range weapons.
The non-strategic nuclear weapons are much more numerous, much more widespread geographically within the former Soviet Union, and subject to much less stringent controls.
The U.S. hopes leaders of the republics will accept technical help in destroying these weapons, a task for which Congress has already appropriated $400 million. There's still another potential problem. Out-of-work Soviet military and civilian nuclear experts could be lured to countries like Libya or North Korea to assist in their weapons programs. Privately, administration officials say they would not oppose emigration restrictions imposed on these experts. Others say they should be offered economic help or even jobs in the U.S.
I think the last thing we want is for people who are basically in charge of their nuclear weapons to not have enough money to feed their family.
Accelerated implementation of the START Treaty and the September Bush-Gorbachev nuclear proposals could eliminate most of the weapons that trouble the U.S. All agree the key is to move quickly, while the former Soviet republics are still willing to cooperate. Bob Zelnick, ABC News at the Pentagon.
Still overseas, 450 people are feared dead after an Egyptian ferry hit a reef and sank in the Red Sea. The ferry Salem Express was carrying about 650 people when it set sail Friday from Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, headed for Safaga, Egypt, about 300 miles southeast of Cairo. Overnight, the ferry was swept up by strong winds and high seas. It went down just 6 miles from its destination. When rescue teams arrived at dawn, they pulled about 200 people from the water. Almost all the passengers were Egyptian Muslims returning from religious pilgrimages. Coming up, Israel's new crackdown in the occupied territories. And later in the broadcast, how the recession has changed one Atlanta family's life, and why Michigan's Desmond Howard has been honored as the best college football player in America.
World News Sunday, brought to you by Charles Schwab.
Everyone has a dream, a vision deep inside.
When I decide to follow up on an investing idea, I need a broker who's ready when I am.
We make it easier to follow your own lead.
I can call Schwab at any hour, nights or weekends, get the information I need, even place an order to trade.
Always there to give you just the help you need.
Help yourself at Schwab today.
Share the fantasy. Chanel number 5.
Have you had your V8 today? Did you know that V8 juice has more vitamins A and C than that tossed salad?
Wow.
V8 is a nutritious blend of 8 vegetable juices that taste terrific. Have you had your V8 today?
The Middle East peace talks resume here in Washington tomorrow as Arab and Israeli delegations enter a second week of talks. But even as the peace process seems to be gaining momentum, new unrest has erupted in the occupied territories, unrest that could derail the drive for peace. More from ABC's Dean Reynolds.
The protest fires in Bethlehem today were reminiscent of the earliest days of the 4-year-old Palestinian uprising. But the latest trouble involves more than stone throwing. There is currently a deadly pattern of armed ambushes against Israeli motorists, allegedly by Palestinians trying to kill the peace process. Today, Israeli military authorities responded with an unprecedented step, barring all Palestinians from roadsides in the occupied territories after dark.
It will cause inconvenience and discomfort to some of the Arab population. I hope that they will understand that we have no choice but to take these measures.
The Israeli government denied that the measure was a form of collective punishment or that it might antagonize moderate Palestinians as much as extremists.
I think that this is a preventive measure that is aimed at setting up new rules that will reduce the chances of gunfire aimed at innocent people.
But critics say the Israeli government is provoking the Palestinians. Last week, Jewish settlers, bankrolled by the government, danced and sang in front of Palestinians they had just dispossessed in an overwhelmingly Arab neighborhood of Jerusalem, an action that Mayor Teddy Kollek said was forcing Palestinians to hate Israelis. The settlers have also been taking unofficial action to stop the attacks against them, setting up their own roadblocks and rampaging through Palestinian towns. Today in Ramallah, Palestinian cars were vandalized by settlers seeking to avenge one of the recent shootings. And last week, settlers destroyed this Palestinian olive grove from where shots were fired at a passing car. Today, a group of Israeli peace advocates came back to the site to plant new trees as a gesture of goodwill.
It's a symbolic gesture, undoubtedly, but it's a very significant gesture.
It was evidently too much for one settler, who, with the army standing by and watching, later methodically went about uprooting each one of the 20 saplings. There were warnings that once the peace process got underway, extremists on both sides would try to scuttle it. And now those warnings seem to have been right on the mark. Dean Reynolds, ABC News, Tel Aviv.
The United Nations Security Council today voted to send a small group of military advisors to Yugoslavia, still embroiled in a civil war. The team would monitor fighting and let the UN know when a ceasefire is fully in place. They are intended to develop plans for a 10,000-member peacekeeping force to arrive when the fighting stops. Back home in Miami, federal prosecutors reportedly are afraid their case against Manuel Noriega could fall apart because of a newly disclosed intelligence operation. New York Newsday says the file on Operation Negocio surfaced last weekend. It was a drug enforcement agency effort to halt major drug operations in the 1980s, and sources say the operation broadened the scope of Noriega's cooperation with the U.S., bolstering defense arguments that the drug charges against Noriega may be politically motivated. Publicly, the U.S. Attorney's Office says it has turned over to Noriega's lawyers all the records required. When we return, the lessons one family has learned as the recession robbed them of their dreams.
Layoffs, recession, pollution.
Daycare, not having any time.
Job insecurity.
You never needed it more. A new extra-strength pain reliever made to get today's tough headaches before they really get you. 1,000 milligrams, stomach guard, and the name Bayer. That should ease your mind. Introducing new extra-strength Bayer Plus. Now there's no pain you can't bear.
I think they're cushy.
Fluffy, like a baby bunny.
Cozy, comfy, snuggly. My feet have never been happier.
Totes presents Totes Toasties.
For men.
Toasties have treads for gripping and a plush warm lining for just relaxing around the house.
I like your red toasties, Bill, but blue look better with your eyes. Get out of here.
Totes Toasties for men.
Ever feel too clumsy some mornings to make a pot of coffee? Wake up to Maxwell House filter packs. You get a perfect pot every time. Maxwell House filter packs, blended with Colombian beans, because better beans make better coffee.
Presto has a great idea.
Shoot some slices, shoot some shreds, shoot some salad, salad shooter.
Presto has a great big idea. Professional salad shooter slicer shredder. Big capacity, holds a lot, shoots a lot. Powerful, fast, a variety of cutting blades so you can point and slice thick, slice thin, shred right into the bowl, even ripple cut. Chop great right where you want. Clean up easy, dishwasher safe, store anywhere.
Salad shooter.
Original, cordless, professional salad shooter.
You can count on Sears for great Christmas values. This Craftsman router table plus extensions is a $65 value for an unbelievable $39.99. It's our best seller and a great buy, only at Sears now.
Federal banking officials are filing a new multi-million-dollar civil suit in the savings and loan scandal. Could be filed as soon as tomorrow against Arizona's Governor Fife Symington and 17 other directors of Southwest Savings and Loan in Phoenix. Southwest's failure in 1989 cost taxpayers almost $1 billion. The Washington Post reports that in addition to being a director, Symington was also Southwest's biggest borrower. The governor of Arkansas had reason to be pleased today when the Florida Democratic Party held the first straw poll of the 1992 presidential campaign.
Governor Bill Clinton, with 950 votes,
Trailing Clinton were Iowa Senator Tom Harkin with 31% of the vote and Nebraska Senator Bob Kerrey with 10%. Former Massachusetts Senator Paul Tsongas got less than 2%. Virginia Governor Douglas Wilder a little more than 1%, and former California Governor Jerry Brown got just 4 votes out of nearly 1,800 cast. The economy is shaping up to be the center of the presidential campaign, and for many families, it's already the biggest concern. Families like the Bramletts in Atlanta who have seen their lives change for the worse as times have gotten tougher. Here's ABC's Karen Burns.
Often the little things tell the story of this recession best, like the look in a child's eye.
She just started crying. And I said, well, Heather, what's wrong with you? And she says, Daddy, we're going to have to go live out on the street soon.
Heather Bramlett and her parents have become part of what some economists call the dismantling of the middle class.
Have a good day.
So you've gone from middle class to what, do you think?
Middle class in trouble. Atlanta to Raleigh.
Doug Bramlett is a transportation planner for a trucking company in Atlanta.
Got to find some stuff, you know? We didn't think, we were going to have decreases in pay. We didn't think we were going to be losing money. We didn't think Robin was going to be out of work. But all these things have happened.
Last year, Georgia's weak economy, the worst in the South, the Gulf War, and high fuel prices forced Doug to take a pay cut. Although Robin is registered with 5 employment agencies, the only work she can find is temporary for $6 an hour.
Okay, let me know if you have any questions.
Is this the way you expected your life to be at this stage?
No, because I know personally, and I know Doug's worked hard all his life, and I've worked my whole life very, very hard to build up what we have had. We intended to move up, not down.
In the 1980s, the Bramletts had a 3-bedroom house with a pool. They had invested in real estate and used credit cards freely. In home movies, Heather is carefree and happy. In the 90s, the Bramletts can't afford to take home movies. They no longer have the pool or the house. Today, the Bramletts acknowledge that they lived beyond their means. So what have you learned from this, Doug?
Save money, don't spend it, don't borrow money. If you don't have the money to pay for it, don't get it.
I'm finding out every $5 adds up here and there. It does add up when you're in a bind because it could be, some money towards food that week.
Now, when Robin Bramlett shops, she uses a calculator and coupons.
No, we can't get those. These are good.
Heather doesn't get her favorite cereal anymore. Her mother buys generic brands and fish or noodles. Perhaps this year's Christmas tree says the most about the Bramletts' lives today. It has been loaned to them, and it is artificial.
I think we're survivors. We'll come through it. We'll come through it probably different people.
That's pretty.
Like the Bramletts, most people have not suffered catastrophic loss, but rather endured the slow erosion of their dreams.
I was trying to think the other day, the last time I really felt happy. It's been a while.
Karen Burns, ABC News, Atlanta.
And we will be back in just a moment.
I was a dedicated beard wearer until my wife gave me the new Remington Microscreen Elite. It's quick. It's close. The Remington Microscreen Elite has 2 ultra-thin screens and 112 diamond-honed cutting edges. The first screen shaves incredibly close. The second even closer. The Remington Microscreen Elite, so comfortable, shaves as close as a blade or your money back. And the Lady Remington, the perfect gift. Shave wet or dry. Super value shavers from Remington.
Extra Strength Maalox Plus, the strongest antacid there is, now comes in extra strength tablets. Stronger than Tums, stronger than Rolaids. New Extra Strength Maalox Plus, now in tablets.
It's the strongest, and my stomach tells me it's fast.
Do your holiday shopping with the Discover card, and you'll not only give, you'll receive a cashback bonus for every charge. It pays to Discover.
No, you go ahead, honey. My throat really hurts.
When your throat is sore and it's feeling raw, try Sucrets. Sucrets wraps your throat in soothing relief.
Much better.
Only Sucrets has the medicine diclonine to soothe minor sore throat pain for long-lasting relief.
How about a bite to eat?
Oh, not with this sore throat.
When your throat's in pain, feel better again. Try Sucrets and wrap your throat in soothing relief.
That does feel better.
Sucrets wraps your throat in soothing relief.
Red Lobster shrimp. Do you love it icy cold? Or the scampi sizzling hot? Do you crave it golden fried? Or dripping with our new honey barbecue sauce? During our holiday shrimp days, you'll find 8 special shrimp dinners. How about new lemon broiled shrimp together with new honey barbecue shrimp? Just $7.99. Now at Red Lobster. And for holidays at home, party platters to go, ready in just 1 hour.
Has science unlocked the secret to what makes people gay?
I've been gay from day one.
But if parents knew, would they choose
selective abortion?
Primetime Thursday.
Thinking about the NFL playoffs, Ray Gandolf in New York has some of the games that should clear things up for you. Ray.
Thank you, Forrest. Well, some NFL teams that were supposed to be stepping stones to other people's triumphs when the season began are in the playoffs. Dallas clinched on the road in Philadelphia, taking the lead for good. on an 85-yard punt return by Kelvin Martin and ending the Eagles' winning streak at 6 games in a row. The Detroit Lions clinched in frigid Green Bay. Eric Kramer hit Robert Clark for 2 touchdowns. It was the Lions' first win outdoors all season. And the Atlanta Falcons did it with spectacular defense. Tim McKyer, after intercepting a Seattle pass, handed off to Deion Sanders, who ran it in for a score. They had 3 interceptions between them. Here's some more spectacular stuff. A look at the man and his exploits, the new Heisman Trophy winner, the wondrous Desmond Howard of the University of Michigan.
It's just instinct. You do look for the move, and you have confidence in yourself that you can make the move, but one-on-one, head up, it shouldn't be one man who could just tackle you.
Touchdown! Touchdown, and his 3rd touchdown of the day.
Desmond Howard scored 4 touchdowns against Boston College in the first game of the season.
Heisman Trophy candidate written all over that one.
Howard makes it look so easy that his nickname is Magic. He knows better than that.
Working so hard is something where it just looks magical when you do it. I mean, just the work ethic behind the things that take place on Saturday, they may look easy, but that's because we work so hard at it.
Social pleasures are a distant third on Howard's priority list. He focuses on academics. He will receive his degree on schedule next May. And he focuses on football. Last night, he won the Heisman Trophy. He has a work ethic instilled in him by his parents.
I always tell them, remember this one thing, that you're just one individual, and it's always somebody else out there better than you are. And I think that helps keep him going.
Don't assume from all this that Desmond Howard is some kind of drone. He plays football with the abandon and joie de vivre of a pure showman, and he plays to the crowd.
Especially when the ball is in the air, it's like everyone's on their feet and they're holding their breath, and it's like you can hear the silence. And once the ball is in my grasp, then it's just a roar, and it's an unbelievable feeling that you get, especially once you cross the goal line. You hear them all clapping and roaring and screaming.
All the applause, all the media attention motivates Desmond. And I think that's the difference between the good ones and the great ones who last forever, because they want more of it, they feed on it.
Howard caught 19 touchdown passes this season, the second most in NCAA history. And he had 4 other touchdowns, including a 92-yard punt return against arch-enemy Ohio State, at the end of which he struck the Heisman Trophy pose, a bit of showmanship that might have gone a tad too far.
I didn't like that because that's not Michigan. That's not what we would go more for the team things. And Desmond has been excellent, I will say, all year long. And maybe I can forgive him one time.
That pose made that play that much more noticeable, and everyone on the punt return team received, a lot of credit for it.
Howard has one more year of football eligibility at Michigan after graduation. Whether he returns or whether he takes the professional money and runs, Desmond Howard will do it with a sense of responsibility to his family, and he'll do it with style.
Everything I do, I realize I'm representing my parents and my family, and I really want to represent them well. I want them to be happy once they see Desmond Howard doing what he does, not only on the field, but in front of the camera.
Howard received a record 85% of the first-place Heisman votes. The other 15% must have been watching soccer. Forrest?
Thank you, Ray. And when we return, we'll go from the University of Michigan to a South Carolina school where talking country isn't cool.
I live in the country where everything tastes a little sweeter and a little fresher. Maybe that's what I like best about these Sunsweet pitted prunes. I can taste all that goodness in Sunsweet.
Now you don't need a prescription to get prescription strength medicine for itches and rashes. Introducing new Maximum Strength Cord-Aid. Now with twice the healing medicine. New Maximum Strength Cord-Aid. Prescription strength without a prescription.
Home for the holidays with Domino's Pizza's Season's Greetings Special. Now get a medium pepperoni pizza for just $2.99 with your favorite large pizza at the regular price.
Nobody knows.
Ho, ho!
It's like Domino's.
Pain from just one sensitive tooth can start the domino effect. Pain can make you stop brushing, lead to plaque buildup, gingivitis, periodontal disease, even tooth loss. Sensodyne toothpaste helps stop the pain and the domino effect.
The first Democratic presidential debate Monday. What have we learned about the candidates? Then later in the week, Lisa Stansfield and Christmas time at the White House here on Good Morning America.
Don't ask me why, but you know and I know the rest of the country tends to snicker when they hear a strong Southern accent, which can make the speaker feel a little self-conscious. So what do you do about it? Well, you can ignore it or get annoyed. Or like some Greenville, South Carolina students, if you can't beat them, you can join them. Here's Al Dale.
The rain in Spain stays mainly in the plain.
I think she's got it. I think she's got it.
The rain in Spain stays...
Henry Higgins had Eliza Doolittle, and Dave Pence has Mary Massengale.
There is a tall willow outside my window.
Okay, try it again.
At South Carolina's Greenville Tech, Pence teaches a popular course called How to Control Your Southern Accent. Not how to lose it, just how to bring it under control.
A communication problem is when someone starts paying more attention to how you're saying something than what you're saying.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
In movies and on television, Southern accents often are used to indicate villainy or dim-wittedness.
You little rascal, for a second there it sounded like you said something.
I did.
That attitude irritates Bill Jenkins, who signed up for the course, because he does business on the phone with Northerners.
They will make fun of you and listen to this guy. You know, put him on the loudspeaker.
In the offices?
Yeah, you know, they want everybody to hear.
The more you get into it, to me, the more I realize, you know, not how bad I sound, but how much better I could sound.
Other students on campus say sounding Southern is just fine.
I don't see any use in changing it now.
If somebody was going to judge me on the way I spoke, then I would judge him as being closed-minded.
Students in the class say they're not trying to deny their heritage.
I don't feel comfortable with the way I speak. I feel like I should do better.
Bravo! The rain in Spain stays mainly in the plain.
Just as it did for Eliza Doolittle, what works for these students is practice.
Pepper, glider, Rockefeller.
Practice.
Hanger, later.
Sister, remember.
Practice.
I can't follow the minnow in the shallow water.
You got it, by Joe.
Al Dale, ABC News, Greenville, South Carolina.
And that is World News Sunday. I'm Forrest Sawyer. For all of us here at ABC News, good night.
From Washington, this has been World News Sunday.
This has been a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source.